Hello everyone, welcome to AI Anytime channel. And in today's video, we are going to work on a very interesting project. Okay, so far we have seen that how we can retrieve information from document or different kind of data formats like your audio, video, images, or any other knowledge bases or knowledge management that you have. That's what we have done so far, to build a conversational interface or a search interface, and then we ask a query, and then we are expecting some output or the response from a large language model. That's what we have done so far. So we have focused on information retrieval. Now in this video we are going to develop an application that will help us generate question answers pair. Okay, so you have a document and now you want to generate some questions and respective answers, or only the questions, depends what we are really looking at. And this video is going to be really helpful for a segment of users, for example teachers, professors in academia, the students, and anyone who is preparing for some kind of exams, right? So they have their study materials, reference guides, etc. They can upload this on the project that we are going to build. You can see it on screen as well, and then you can generate QA pair. That's it. You will have an Excel sheet or something like that. So I'm going to do this in a controlled environment in a very small scale, but you can extend this further, number of documents, or how do you want to do it, right? You can do pretty much everything you want to do with this. And this is also going to help if you are looking to generate, or I'll not say generate, or you want to prepare or create a collection of data sets to fine tune a large language model. Now you have your own code bases, if you have your own documents, and you want to generate QA pair out of it, so you can fine tune a large language model. This will also help you do that. So we are going to generate the QA pair in an CSV or an Excel format, and then you can convert this in an alpaca format, and you can fine tune a large language model, Llama 2 for example. So you can see the screen here. It says question answer generator, and I will give you this entire template. It's just a bootstrap template. If you don't know bootstrap, it's been used to develop websites, web apps, etc. I think we are using Bootstrap 5.3 here, the latest one. But you can use any other libraries or frameworks, for example React or Angular respectively. You can also use those if you are comfortable with. So you can see it says question answer generator. Here you have an option to upload your PDF file. So when I click on upload PDF file, I'm going to upload an HDG PDF. Now when I upload a HDG PDF, let me first show what I mean by HDG PDF. So HDG PDF is a document that I have. It's called Sustainable Development Goals. So United Nations has a SDG where they have defined this all of these goals, 17 goals that you see. It starts from no poverty to partnership for the goals, and we have this document by the United Nations, and we are going to just generate some question answer pairs. Now if you are working in an IT company or a company which is focused towards sustainability, how can you use this document to generate a question answer for your sustainability module? We go through all these trainings, right? How can you generate something like this, a question answer pair? Even with not this document, you have some other documents. For example, if you have a chapter from your curriculum, and as a teacher you want to generate a question answer pair, as a student you want to generate a question answer pair of summarized answers for your study notes, you can do that as well after going through this video. So this is the document. You can see it has around 24 pages or something. Now I have set a limit over there. I'll show you why are we setting a limit, but let me just show you. Okay, so you can upload a PDF, but we are only going to consider 5 or 6 pages. We cannot gonna pass all this all together to a large language model, because we are going to use OpenAI API in this case just to build this demo project, guys. You can look at large language model. I tried large language model, open source large language models. I tried Llama 2 and MPT, but I was not getting the accuracy or the kind of responses I was waiting. So I was not getting that. So I just thought like I will create this with OpenAI, because you should have a meaningful output. So if you see this, upload your PDF file here. We have uploaded the PDF file, and once I click on generate QA pair, now what it does, you can see it over here. It's load its buffering, right? So it's working in the backend, all the chains. We are using LangChain chain. I will explain that when I'm writing the code, by the way. So we are using LangChain QA generation chain, and it works with it works on top of your document with the help of OpenAI GPT 3.5 turbo model, and you will see the output very soon here, because it has pages. It has to go through all the pages, first generate the question list, then the respective answers through retrieval QA chain or something, and then merge it together. That's what we are doing here, guys. So this is the application that we are going to build. You can see question answer generator. Let me just show in the terminal. You can see in the terminal it's generating, right, for all the question and the respective answers. All the questions and the respective answers. Question 9, how can we achieve sustainable or something it was, right? Let me just go up. You know, sustainable consumption and production patterns, and the answer for it. That's what we are going to do in this video, guys. Okay, so it will take a little time. You know, it takes time. You can see, you can track it in terminal, the number of questions that we are generating. I have set a token limits, because you know it's cost me a bit, so I just have put a token limit over there, and you can see it's generating. It has generated 14 questions. The 15th question is going on, and now you can see it over here. Now this is the document, and here we have an option to download the question answer generation pair. Now here I have a single question, a single answer, and that answer I have used a summarized chain. You know, I have used a summarized chain in LangChain, a framework for generative AI applications. Now if you don't want a summarized answer, you can just don't use summarized chain, just use LLM chain in that case. I will show when I'm writing this code, because I just wanted to create a very neat and clean demo, you know, the project today. So you can see the PDF. We can see the PDF viewer we have in the left hand side. On the, we are using HTML PDF viewer here. You can see the PDF that you have uploaded, and here we have an option to, you know, download the Excel or CSV. So you can see it's downloaded here, QA3 CSV. Now when I click on that, you can find out all of your queries. So we have 15 questions and we have 15 answers, and you can read all this. You can see the first question is, what is the name of the plan created by leaders from 193 countries, you know, in 2015? So the plan created by leaders from 193 countries in 2015 is called the Sustainable Development Goal, SDGs, right? How many goals are included? So 17 goals are included. What is the goal of the UNDP? So the goal of UNDP is to fulfill the Sustainable Development Goals by the year 2030. The UNDP works in nearly 170 countries, the people who have, you know, the countries who have participated. And then we have questions like, how can we achieve sustainable consumption and production patterns? And you have all that in a very summarized and concise way. So you can see, right, the questions and the answers. Now we have this data. It's of course, with 15 rows you cannot find, you know, large language model. Better to have an embedding approach in that case. But you can generate more questions, n number of question and answer pairs, you know, and you can do whatever you want to do with that. You use it in your academia, you use it in your study, you use it in your at your workplace, you use it to create a curriculum where you have question answer in the last, where people have to go through this question and answer to complete the module. You use this for fine tuning a large language model by creating n number of question answer pairs. So you can see it very simple, neat and clean UI that we have built on Bootstrap. So this is what we are going to build in this video, guys. Okay, we'll write everything, you know, on the back end. We're going to use FastAPI, of one of my favorite framework. FastAPI, we're going to use FastAPI, you know, for backend to create this completely API based. And then we have Bootstrap here. This will be available on my GitHub repository. I'll give the link in the description, or you can go to AI Anytime's GitHub. So without any further delay, now let's build this application, guys. Okay, so now let's start writing some code, and this will be a little lengthy, guys. So if you don't want to follow along, you can, you know, just go to GitHub and download the code. You know, but I will suggest that, you know, you should spend a little time to write the code with me, maybe, you know, to understand a bit. Now I'm gonna create a file name called app.py. When I click enter, you can see this is the folder structure that I have. Pretty much, if you have worked with FastAPI, Flask, whatever, that you will know this kind of folder structure. So we have a static. We will keep all our static files. Now if you see, within static we have two folders, docs and output. Docs, the file that we are uploading, will get stored in docs, the PDF file. Output, the CSV that we are generating, will get stored in output. Templates, pretty much self-explanatory, the index.html. the index. I'm not gonna write this HTML file because the video will be too lengthy. Then I'll just explain maybe that what are we doing with this, and I'll just gonna write the backend code, and this entire project folder will be available on the GitHub repository. Now let's jump in and start writing some code here, guys. So app.py, the first thing that we need is FastAPI. So from FastAPI, and this is the requirements txt. You need LangChain, OpenAI, PyPDF, tick token, etc., AIO files, and Python multipart. You're uploading a file on FastAPI. You need that UVCon as a server, to run this FastAPI file that you have. Jinja to just a templating module in FastAPI, right? And then PyPDF too. That's what you need. So that will be given. So from FastAPI, import FastAPI. That's what we need. First thing, FastAPI. Then we need form, and then we need a request. So let me just do request. We also need response. If you have worked with FastAPI, I just like FastAPI. If you want to learn anything in Python backend, if you want to focus on microservices, etc., you can learn FastAPI. It's really good. Now I'm gonna use depends HTTP exception to handle some exceptions, and then need status, the downloads and all, right? So okay, this is what we need from FastAPI. We need a couple of other things quickly. So from FastAPI dot responses, we need redirect response because we might redirect it to localhost 8000, right? That Swagger specification that we have, docs, redoc, etc. So from responses, import redirect response. And guys, if you are not interested in building this application, like I don't need it in a FastAPI, just give me the Python file. Just take the function that I'm gonna write. Okay, you can just put that in a script.py or something like that and just run it locally and you will get it if you're not interested in the web part of it. Okay, so just ignore that. So from FastAPI.responses, import redirect response. We need static files, we need Jinja2, etc., right? So from FastAPI.static files, I'm using tab 9 as a coding assistant, and you can also use it if you want. You can also pay $10 to get GitHub Copilot. Now I need from FastAPI.templating. So templating, and I need Jinja2 templates. So import Jinja2 templates. I also need encoders. So from FastAPI.encoders, okay, and just need the JSONable encoder or something. Here we go, JSONable encoder. We are done with the FastAPI thingy, guys. Okay, now the LangChain. Thanks to Harrison Chase for creating this beautiful framework, but there's a lot of bugs in production when it comes to LangChain, but I still love LangChain, but I don't use it in production, to be honest. From LangChain.chat models, we're gonna use chat models, and I'm gonna use import chat OpenAI. So let's get this chat OpenAI. That's what we're gonna need. So we need chat OpenAI from LangChain.chat models, and we need a couple of chains. So from LangChain.chains, import, let's get the QA generation chain. So it has a QA generation chain. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. QA generation chain. Now let me also, you can see that we are in this. Let me just activate my Conda, activate LangChain environment. I use Anaconda. I have a LangChain environment where I've installed all my LangChain, like generative AI based thingy. Let me show you QA generation. So I'm gonna write QA generation chain LangChain. It has a QA generation chain. Now if you come over here, you can see QA generation, GPT cache, read the docs. This is a chain that you can also look at it. It's extremely powerful, guys, to generate question answer pair, but anyway, that's fine. Now let's come back on the screen. So from LangChain.chains, import QA generation chain. Let's also have retrieval. What will we do without retrieval chain, guys? So retrieval, I hope I'm writing it correctly, retrieval QA. This is okay. Retrieval QA is done. I don't know why I feel that I have done a typo here. RIEVAL or something. Okay. Retrieval QA. Now we also need summarize chain. So let's do from LangChain.chains or something. What was that? LangChain.chains dot summarize. So chains dot summarize and import, because we are gonna get a summarized response for that question that we're gonna have. Okay, so we're only gonna return a summarized answer, okay, not a detailed answer, just to save some token time there. Okay, so load summarize the chain. We are, I think, done with the chains also, guys. So LangChain is done. Okay, when I say chain, I mean we need vector stores and also let's write the code there. So from LangChain dot data preprocessing text splitter. So let's have text splitter and import. We're gonna have token text splitter in this case. I don't know why it's not suggesting me token. Okay, let's have token text splitter. Then we need doc store. So from LangChain, excuse me, from LangChain dot doc store dot document. I'm gonna use document where I can customize. I can have a complete control on this document module, and that's why I'm using document. And I will explain that when I'm writing that particular function, why you should use document. It really help you control the function. You can define a lot of quirks within it. So from LangChain dot doc store dot document import document. Now let's have some loader. So we need PyPDF loader because only going to accept PyPDF here. So from LangChain dot document underscore loaders or something. Okay, so loaders, I'm gonna have PyPDF2 or something. Okay, PyPDF loader. I have to install PyPDF2. So PyPDF loader. I'm gonna have a prompt template. So from LangChain dot prompts. Okay, import prompt template. So let's do a prompt template, guys. Okay, here we go, prompt template. We're gonna also need OpenAI embeddings. We're gonna use completely on OpenAI to make it faster. So from LangChain dot embeddings, okay, dot OpenAI import OpenAI embedding. We're gonna rely on ADA embedding 002, and we need fast. You can use Chroma as well. Nowadays I'm using fast, just to build these demos, but you can use Qdrant, you can use Milverse, you can use Chroma, you can use n other numbers of vector stores. So from LangChain dot vector stores import fast by Facebook. It's developed by Facebook. From LangChain dot vector stores import fast, and okay, couple of utilities, import OS. Then I'm gonna have import JSON. I'm gonna have import time. I'm gonna have import UVCon. I'm gonna have import AIO files for FastAPI. What else? We need CSV. So import CSV to save the file, and we need PDF reader. So let's have from PyPDF, just to show that PDF reader, something like that. Okay, PDF reader. Okay, so from PyPDF to import PDF reader. Here we go. Now let me just run this guy and see if I'm getting any error on the imports. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna say okay, Python app.py, simple, something like that. Okay, I didn't get any error. It means all of my imports are successfully imported. Wow, we have done 80% of our task. Okay, well, this is like 21 lines that are the imports that we have, right? But it's okay. Let's start writing the code, guys, here. So now app, because we want to define that FastAPI app. So we have to initialize a FastAPI app, guys. So this is how we initialize an app. When we are using FastAPI, same goes with Flask also, right? So app FastAPI, and you can do, you can do a lot of documentation within it. Okay, it has a lot of input arguments that you can pass it over here. You can see, you can pass a summary, you can pass a title, description, version, etc., right? So let's don't do that. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna mount something. So app.mount, because we have to mount the static files. So we have a static file over here. You can see a folder. Not file, the static folder. So what I'm going to do here, app.mount, and within this I'm going to write /static, /static, and then my static files that we have used on top. So it's static files. Okay, so it's static files, and within that you have to pass the directory name. So my directory is nothing, so let me just use directory, and my directory is static. So I'm just gonna pass static, and I'm gonna give a name here. So name, and let me just put static. Okay, so I don't know why it's one line extra, guys. Okay, let me just see. App.mount directory static. Okay, you have to close this here. Okay, after directory static. So now what I'm gonna do here. So static name static. This we have to close this, and now it's okay. Now app.mount, and then we have to also do it same for templates, because we're going to rely on Jinja 2 templates, the module within FastAPI. So what I'm going to do here, templates, not templating by the way, templates, and you can keep any variable if you want. I'm going to use Jinja 2 templates, and within this my directory again, so directory, and my directory name is templates. If you are naming something else, please make sure that you have to define all this. That's it. So we are done with the mounting and templating, etc. Now let's do os.env, okay, environment. I'm gonna pass an OpenAI API key here. Of course, you can do it from env as well, but I'm gonna delete this key after this video. So os.env OpenAI API key. Let me just paste my key here. Okay, that's it. And you can also pass this API key through after creating an env file, or you just do a set or export, whatever, depending on what kind of operating system you are on. Now I'm gonna write a function first. So let's write a function called count PDF pages. So I'm gonna do count PDF pages, and we'll see it later if you want to use this function or not. Okay. So what this is going to do is it will count your number of pages. Okay. So count PDF pages. I'm gonna just do a try except here first. So try, and within try I'm gonna write PDF, a variable. I'm gonna use PDF reader. So PDF reader, which is just, let's define our PDF path. So let me just write PDF path here, and we'll see how we're gonna use the PDF path later on. Then return length of that PDF. So just checking the length of that PDF. So return length PDF dot pages. That's it. Okay, so this will return. Now let's have an except exception E, guys. So except exception as E or something. Okay, so as E error or whatever. Okay, then print error. Okay, so print error. I can just do something like this. Okay, print error, and just do write E, that's it, and just return nothing here. Okay, if there's any error, then don't return anything. Now this is our count PDF pages, guys. Now what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna write the function for file processing. So let's do that. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna write define file processing. So let me just do file processing. So file processing, and within this I'm gonna pass my file path. So file path, and so there will be a file path as an input parameter, and here we're going to write all of our logic for with the help of LangChain. So let's do that. So what I'm going to do first is I want to load that file path. So I'm going to use loader. So loader, I'm going to use PyPDF loader. So let's use PyPDF loader, and if you have directories, then if you want to do it in multiple files, you can use any other as well, depending on you have CSV to use CSV loader. Okay. So then we have data, pretty much LangChain thingy. You can get all this in the LangChain documentation and many of my previous videos. Okay, so loader.load is loading that file. Now let's create an empty string here. So question gen, there will be nothing inside this. So let's just do that, question gen. Now I'm going to say for page in data. Okay, for page in data, I'm going to say question gen, the variable that we have defined, the empty one which has nothing right now. Question gen, then you have to keep adding it. So question gen, and then I'm going to use page dot page content or whatever it is. Okay, page underscore page content. Okay, so this is okay. Now this is what question gen. Now what we're going to do is, okay, let's have a variable called splitter. We're going to split the question gen. So split question. Let's define a variable. I'm going to use token text splitter. You would have heard about text splitter, recursive character text splitter, character text splitter. Then I'm going to use token text splitter. I'm looking at the token level of it. Token text splitter, and I'm going to use GPT 3.5 Turbo here. And if you can deploy on Azure as well, and you can use that model as well if you want. 3.5 for on Azure you cannot do 0.5. It's GPT 35 Turbo, GPT-35 Turbo. So GPT 3.5 Turbo here on OpenAI. So Turbo, and the model is done. Let's have a chunk size, guys. So chunk size, keep a bigger chunk size. So I'm gonna keep a 10,000 chunk size, and then I'm gonna have a chunk overlap. Let's keep our chunk overlap of 200, little lesser, just to quickly build this splitter question token text splitter. And now I'm gonna have chunks underscore one more variable. Let's call it it's gonna hold the chunks of the generated question. So question, so chunks question, I'm gonna write splitter question. So let's utilize that variable on top. So splitter question dot split text. I don't know why I'm not getting that function. Split text. I'm just gonna pass that question gen inside this that we have defined on line number 43. That's it, question gen. Here we go. So question gen. Now let's have a variable called document. Let's call it document question. Okay. And in document question, I'm gonna use that document, okay, inside a list. So document and page content. Let me think. Page content, text page content. Let's give t, and then you can write for t in that chunks. For t in that chunks. Okay, this is the right suggestion. So let me just do that. Now this was for question, guys. Okay, the splitter question that we have to do it something similar for answer gen as well. The answer generation, the splitter for that. So let me just write that as well, or maybe I'll just copy this on top to save some time. So let me just copy this here. I'm gonna come back, paste it here, and just gonna replace quest with ans. That's it. So splitter ans gen. Now here what we are doing here, you can see we have GPT 3.5 turbo same, then we have chunk overlap, and then we have just for answer generation. Now we have to write the similar thing like document answer generation, where you have document question gen, then we have to write document answer gen. So let's do that, guys. So what I'm gonna do here, so let's do document. It should not be question gen, so let's call it answer gen or something. Document answer gen. I'm gonna use splitter answer gen. Okay, that's right. Gen dot split, the same thing that we had earlier for question generation. Split text. I'm gonna just pass the document question gen inside this. So let me just see, and I'm gonna passing document question. Okay, so this is on document answer gen, which is done. Now let's return both the thing here, guys, for question and for answer. So return document question and then return document answer gen. That's it. That's what we need. Okay, so this function is completed. This is the first function. You can see the first function is file processing. We are processing that file, the uploaded file, and it's been done. I'm getting that sunlight. I'm not able to see it properly, but anyway. Now let's define an LLM pipeline. It's a very sunny day here, guys, today. So define LLM pipeline, and within this I'm gonna pass my file path, by the way. So file path, and I'm gonna write the prompts and everything within this pipeline. So the first thing that I have to do, I have to call that function on top. Okay, so let me just do document question or something, whatever you name it, guys, the variables. Okay, document question, and then we have document or document, and then I have answer gen or whatever. Okay, and then I use file processing. So let's use that. So file processing function, and it accepts a file path. The same file path remains. So file path, let's keep passing this file path by now. And okay, now let's write something, right? So LLM question. So I'm gonna do here LLM question pipeline. So LLM question pipeline, and it's a variable. I'm gonna use chat OpenAI from LangChain. So let's use that we have used on top. So let me just see if we have imported it. If you can see, this is what we have imported on line number 6, and that's what we're gonna call here, chat OpenAI. And let's pass some arguments within it. The first thing is temperature. As you want to generate a question answer pair, I will not have too much of creativity, so I like to set the temperature on a lower scale. So let's do that. So temperature first, and I'm gonna do temperature equals 0.3 or something. You know, we can do 0 also if you want. Let's use the model here. My model name is nothing but GPT 3.5 turbo. So GPT 3.5 turbo. Okay, now need some prompt template, guys. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm going to go on my GitHub gist. So I'm just gonna go on my GitHub, and on GitHub I'm gonna go inside that gist, your gist, and I need couple of prompt templates. I already have some prompt templates. I'll just copy this for now. So prompt template, I'll explain that prompt, by the way. Okay, so let me just come here on prompt template, and if you see here what I'm doing in this prompt, I'm saying you are an expert at creating questions. I'm telling this to large language model, GPT 3.5 turbo, that you are an expert at creating questions based on coding materials and documentation. Your goal is to prepare a coder or this is for a different experiment. I'll make some changes, and then exam and coding test. you do this by asking questions about the text below. Now here the text that we're gonna pass. Create questions that will prepare the coders or programmers for their test. Make sure not to lose any important information, and then your question starts coming in. So in this prompt template, I'm gonna make some changes for not for coding. You are an expert at creating questions based on study materials. Let's call it study materials and documentation. Let me call it not document, study materials and reference guide. And your goal is to prepare a student or teacher or something. Okay, so let me just write teacher for their exams and tests. You do this by asking question about the text below. Create question that will prepare the coder for their prepare the user. So let me just prepare the student or teacher for their test. Okay, this is the first prompt. Now let's we also have to do the similar for refined prompt. I'll show you what I mean by refined prompt. Let me just see it on my screen. So prompt template. So now let's use that prompt template. So for that we want to use this prompt. Where did it go? Prompt template. You can see the line number 12. So let's use that, guys. Very simple. So I'm gonna define a prompt question. Let's keep it like I'm not gonna make this any changes. Okay, so prompt questions. So in this prompt questions, I'm gonna use prompt template from LangChain, from template, and I'm gonna pass templates equals prompt template, the variable that we have defined on top. You can see line number 80 with the prompt, and let's pass an input variable for now, because that looks for text. That's going to be your input variable that will vary. So variable, and your input variable remains it's not input variable, it's input variables. So your input variables is nothing but a text. Here we go. So we have this prompt questions, and we are okay with prompt questions. Now let's do a refined template. Then I'm going to copy these guys here. Okay, so or I can just copy it from my gist again. I have for refined template. I have done this to save time, guys, while creating this video. So let's use this refined template quickly. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to come here on this, write a refined template, and in this creating practice question based on study materials and reference guides. Let me just replace this, Control C, and I'm going to replace this with this. Your goal is to help a student or teacher for their exams and tests. Let me call this exams, by the way, here exams, coder, and for coding test, student or teacher for their exams and test. We have received some practice questions to a certain extent. Existing answer, this is correct. We have to option refine the existing question, add new one. This is fine. Now this looks for existing answer and text both. That's why we're calling it refined template. Now it looks for existing answer as well. So let me do that. Given the new context, refine the original questions in English. If the question is not helpful, this is fine. Okay, so let's define this refined template, guys, here. So let me call it refine prompt questions. And in this refined prompt questions, I'm going to again use prompt template here. So in this prompt template, we're going to pass few things. The first thing is input variables, and input variables, variable, variables, input variables. So let me just do variables in input variables. I'm going to pass existing answer. And in this existing answer, I'm going to also have text here. So let me just do text, and after that I'm going to pass template, and in this template I'm going to use refine template, the variable that we have defined on line number 97. Okay, so this with the prompt, guys. So we are okay with our prompt also now. Okay, so we have written couple of prompts, and you can see we are okay with the prompt now. So let's now define a chain again, summarize chain with this prompt that we have defined in the LLM. So I'm going to call it quiz gen chain, or you can give any variable name. So quiz gen chain, I'm going to use load underscore summarize chain, and in this load underscore summarize chain, I'm going to pass my LLM. My LLM is nothing but that we have defined on line number 75. So that goes LLM question pipeline, the first thing. Then we're gonna next is chain type. Let's have stuff or something, or let's have refine for now. Chain type, and you can have map reduce, you have stuff, you have refine, you have a lot of other things, guys. Depends. We explore on LangChain documentation. Now chain type, then we're gonna use refine here. Then let's keep verbose equal to true. I want to see that in terminal. So excuse me, it's a boolean value. So verbose equals true. Let's have question. Then we have question prompt. So let's pass the question prompt, and this is nothing but this one, number 92, prompt questions, and then we have question prompt. Then we have refine prompt. So refine prompt is refine prompt is nothing but the line number 112. Refine prompt questions. Here we go. We are done with our chain. Now we're gonna use this chain to summarize that, guys. No, that's why we're using this load summarize chain. Now let's do okay. Now we are going good. So now what we're gonna have is, let's run this chain. So the first thing is question gen. So let me just use question chain dot run. I'm gonna use run here, and you can pass that in document question. Okay, document question. Now we're gonna create embeddings of it. So embeddings, and embedding is gonna be OpenAI embeddings. Let me just use it quickly. We're using ADA embedding 002, and we need a vector store. So I already have installed vector store here. So let's do that. So vector store, and in this vector store we're gonna have fast. So fast dot from underscore documents. So let me just do that. Fast dot and from underscore documents. You can see I have a power cut, but anyway, that's fine. We are doing it live locally, so there's no problem. So let me just turn on this. Okay, fast from document. I'm gonna pass my embeddings. So I'm just gonna passing this embedding when we are using fast. If you want to use Chroma, nothing will change. You just have to install ChromaDB, pip install ChromaDB. This word will get changed from fast to Chroma. As simple. So Chroma dot from underscore document. I'm using fast. I'm facing some issues with Chroma nowadays. I'm not using it. So vector store fast dot from doc, but fast is not that good, guys, to be honest. So I'll suggest you to use a lot of others, maybe Milverse, Qdrant, Supabase, for example. Depends what you want to use. Okay. So vector stores fast dot from documents embeddings, and that also depends if you want an in-memory vector store or you need a vector database if you have large file or something, right? So for latency and all. So now what I'm gonna also do is LLM answer gen, and in this answer gen I'm gonna use again chat OpenAI, and let's pass a couple of things here quickly. Okay, and I'm making mistakes here, guys, so a lot of brain fade moment here. So if you see line number 129, just passing embeddings, but where is that document that we're gonna use? Let me see. We're gonna pass here fast. So let me just do a comma, and here I'm gonna use, excuse me, document question answer gen. We're gonna use answer. We need answer gen. So document answer gen and embeddings. Now it looks good. So excuse me. So LLM answer gen, and here I'm gonna use temperature. Let's lower the temperature even more. So temperature, excuse me, and let's keep it 0.1 as temperature, and you can write model again GPT 3.5 turbo, GPT -3.5 turbo. This is our answer gen pipeline, guys. Okay, chat OpenAI. Now let's have a quest list. So quest list, and then I'm just doing quest.split. When I split that question by /n, the next line, right? Pretty much Python thingy here, quest list and question.split. And now let's have a filtered questions list. Okay, so filtered quest list, and I'm gonna pass element for element in quest. What is quest list? I don't know why it says QE. It should be QU, right? I have defined Q. If element dot ends with. So let's put a check. I want all the question to end with a question mark. So let's do that for now. I don't know if that's the right logic, but that's what I'm gonna use. Okay, because most of the time this, due to some tokens or whatever, right, it stops in between. I don't want that to be happen. So what we can do is we can put a logic here. Elements dot ends with or something. If there is anything ends with, let's look for a question mark. Okay, ends with, and I'm going to have or element. Or element ends with dot. So it can also end with dot. Let me do an alt G first. Okay, so element dot ends with, and then it goes dot. Okay, so here we have some good validation checks, and now let's have our final answer generation chain. So answer generation chain, and in this answer generation chain, I'm gonna use retrieval QA dot from underscore chain type. So let's use a retrieval chain type. Excuse me, what happened? And chain type, type is not type. Okay, retrieval QA from chain type. The first is your LLM, and your LLM is nothing but the line number 31. LLM answer gen. Chain type is stuff. Excuse me. It's better to have refine chain type on top when we use refine. When we're using summarize chain, that generates better responses, guys. So chain type stuff, and let's have a retriever where we're gonna pass our our embedding thingy there. So retriever vector store dot as underscore retriever, isn't it? And tabline is bad. Okay, retriever. I don't know if some of the tabline guys will reach out to me and say, hey, you are doing negative something, right? Reviews or something, but I don't care. Okay, so vector underscore store as retriever. Okay, now let's return this, guys. So what I'm going to do is return answer generation chain, and then filtered question list, filtered quest list. That's it. So we are done with our this guy's LLM also. Okay, I have power back. Okay, so I have my power back also. So now what I'm going to do is, let's write something, or we'll not write a lot of these thingies. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy a few of the things from my GitHub repository. So now let's do that. So let me open my gist. So I'm just going to go on my GitHub again, and the gist, I need one more gist. Just the CSV function. Excuse me, I don't know what I did. Not sponsor your gist. Okay, so I just need get CSV because we're going to write this in a CSV file, the answer that we're going to generate, the question answer. So I just need that function. So what this function is doing, it takes again a file path, and then uses answer generation chain. We are just using that LLM pipeline. So let me just go on top, and we are utilizing this LLM pipeline function here within this get CSV function. And our base folder is nothing, where we are going to save that CSV file, which is static, and within that then we have output. That's where we're going to save our output file. Then we are first checking if that's not there, then make that directory. That's what this piece of code does. And then we are going to save that file with the base folder plus qa.csv, and then with a little bit of file processing in Python with open, adding that file, writing it with CSV writer, which comes with default in Python, and then just checking that each line for each question in question list, putting that answer together and just writing it in a question answer column. That's what we are doing here, guys, with return output file. Now this is done. So we have written the code. Now we have written all the functions. Now the only thing we have to do, we have to write the FastAPI code. So let's do that quickly. Couple of functions for FastAPI. The first thing that we're going to do is app get. In this, we're going to use redirect response. So let's use an async function. So async def index, and here I'm going to just pass request. So request, excuse me, it's not capital, I don't know why it's giving me. Okay, request, and request is nothing but it's gonna be request, and async, okay, colon, and now here I'm just gonna use template. So return template. So templates dot template response, and just pass index HTML. That's it. So index HTML, and I'm going to also do a dictionary where I'm going to pass this request to request, and this request is nothing but that's the request. Okay, so the first function is done. That's an index function to load index.html file. The next function is we're going to use a post, right? So we're going to post the file. We're going to upload a file. So we're going to write a post method here. So app.post, and in this post our endpoint will be nothing but that we will call as upload. So let's call it upload, and let's again have an async function. That's why most of the people use FastAPI. Now async def, and let's call it chat, for example. You can also do search or something. So async def chat, and here we have to define the structure of our data, so that will be again request This is okay. So request. Now we're gonna have a PDF file. So let's name it PDF file, and this PDF file is nothing but it's gonna have a bytes value. So bytes, and then the file pretty much self-explanatory in FastAPI. If you worked with FastAPI, then I think I make some mistake. File name, and this file name is going to be a string. So let's call it str, and it's gonna take that as a form. So form input and 3 dot. That's it. Okay, we are done with this, guys. This parameters in this chat function, and our endpoint is nothing but the upload. Okay, the first thing is we're gonna have a base folder. That's where we're gonna have our file. So base folder, let's call it static again. Okay, that's called docs. That's the folder is base folder docs. And you can also use the same code from here. So let's use the same code, if not OS path. So I'm just going to paste this. If not OS path e directory base folder, then make that folder. That's what we are doing here as well. That make that folder. Now let's have a PDF file name. So PDF file name, and this PDF file name is OS. Okay, this is correct, base folder, and then gonna have a file name here. So let's just do a file name. That's it. So now this variable has the PDF file name. You can use that file now. So let's now do async with AIO files. We're gonna open that file. So open, and of course PDF file name, self-explanatory, right? That's why Python is so fun to learn. As file or f whatever, and then just have an await method here. So await f dot write. Await is a keyword in Python. So await f dot write. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna pass that PDF file. So let's me just see. Okay, you have to pass this PDF file that we have passing in the argument and not the file name. So just let's do PDF file. Okay, so async with AIO files, we're okay with it. Now let's do a response data. So response data, and this JSONable encoder, we're going to encode that JSON that we're going to get. We're going to have json.dumps. Let's dump that file, response data. This is, I don't know why it's response data. It's not response data. We're going to write this message here. So let me just remove response data, dumps, and within that dumps, it's going to have a dictionary. You're gonna have a message, and this message is like success or something. So success, success, and then PDF file name. Okay, that's it. So we are okay with it. I don't know why did I have an extra. Okay, then we have it's not dot. Okay, PDF file name, message success. Okay, cool. So we are done with this response data. Now just let's call it result equals to response, and just passing the response data. I'm gonna just return the result. That's it. Okay, so just return the result. And one last function, we need an analyze or something. Let's define an endpoint again, app.post, and here I'm gonna write an analyze. Here an endpoint, I'm gonna have async def, and let's call it again async def chat, and let's pass again request. So request, then it's gonna have request, and then PDF file name. So PDF file name, it's again be string. So let's write an str and form, and that's it. That's how we define a form, and here we go, right? That's it. And within this, I'm just gonna write an output file. So output underscore file, and our output is like use the function. Okay, get CSV, the function name, I guess. Let me just go on top. Get CSV, because we have to download that CSV. So output file get CSV, passing file name, PDF file name, and you're gonna use a response data here over. So response data, I'm gonna use JSONable encoder, and just gonna JSON.dumps to JSON.dumps output. I don't know what happened. Output. This will be output underscore file, and in this output underscore file, we're gonna have our output file. Okay, so we are okay with it, and just again result So just again response to return res. We have completed our code, guys. So we written the code each and every line for most of the functions. Like we have taken a couple of functions and the prompt from the GitHub gist. That link will be given to you in the description as well if you want the gist separately. Now let's run this and see what we have. So let me explain that quickly what I have done here. So I'll explain from top. I have imported all the libraries and we are using FastAPI here. Okay, we have app equals FastAPI. We are mounting it our static folder and the templates. In templates we have index.html, which is going to that's where we are showing the results, right? Taking our input and showing the result and giving option to download the file. Now we are counting it. We didn't use it anywhere, but we can use it in the last function. Then we are having file processor, file processing, loading through LangChain modules, using some for both question and answers. Okay, the model. And then we have LLM pipeline. In LLM pipeline we are defining all the prompt templates, refined templates. We are using embeddings, creating pipelines, retrieval QA chain. Then we have a CSV, get CSV function that will help you download the CSVs. Then we have couple of other functions, async functions, in FastAPI with couple of endpoints like upload and analyze. This is what we have written. Now let's do one thing. Let's run it and see if we are able to generate the question answers and we are able to download it, guys. So let me just come down. Okay, everything looks nice. So now let's run this. So let's open the terminal here, and in terminal what we're going to do, we are not going to do python app.py. Again, we can do it, but we have to set up that uvcon in if name. So what you can also do, let's do uvcon run uvcon app is your file name and app is your class name. So uvcon app hyphen reload. That's what I'm going to do here. So let's do that. It says application startup complete. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna just so now let's do one thing. What I'm gonna do here, I'm going to upload localhost 8000. So let's do localhost 8000, and in this localhost 8000 let's run this, guys. So now you can see we have something called question answer generator, where the same thing that you have seen in beginning of this video. Now here we have upload your PDF file. So let me just go home and desktop, my project, question answer. I'm going to use this HDG. Now what it does, let me open this, and you can see all of your chains are being called. The chains that we have created, it says finish chain. For each chain you are seeing a question. What is the name of plan created by leaders? The question, you can see question answer, and you can track it in your terminal. We have verbose equals to true in this chain, and we are seeing all the question and answer. You can take any other document, you can try it out. So let's see once we get the final response. What is the goal for education in the SDG? One of the questions, what progress has been made in achieving under gender equality? So we have used QA generation chain, of course, with other chains like load summarize chain and retrieval QA, etc. Right? That's what we have used. Okay, in this video. So we have used retrieval QA chain, and we are using GPT 3.5 turbo model. Okay. So the logic is that there can be different logic for this guy. You first put a prompt that will get all the questions, maybe that can be a logic, and then start feeding that in a loop to retrieve the information. That also is one way of performing this experiment. Okay, but here in this case we have relied on chains. So you can see it has generated more than 17 questions, it seems now. Okay, what are some ways individuals can show support and help achieve? And you can see all of our output has been generated, and here the PDF that we uploaded. Maybe right now what I think have to make some changes in the JavaScript on the front end. I think it's loading only once the results are being generated, but this will be a separate function maybe, but we will see that. So what we have done, we have a file option where you can upload a file, and then we have this HDG PDF, and here you can download the file. Okay, so once you click on download files, I'll just click on download. So once I click on this, you can see qa4.csv. Now when you click on qa4.csv, it opens a CSV file, and you can see in the CSV file question and answer. What is the name of the plan created by leaders from 193 countries, something 17 questions and 17 respective answers for it. Fantastic, right? If you click on one of these questions like, what are some ways individuals can sow and help achieve the SDGs? And you can read the answers. There are several ways individuals can sow, support, and help achieve the SDGs. Educate yourself, spread awareness, volunteer, etc. Fantastic. So this is the result that we have, generated with the help of this app, question answer generator. Now you can take the same app, you can download it from, clone it rather, from GitHub repository. You can change your API key. You can also use Azure OpenAI here, to perform this experimentation. You can also create data sets, question answer pair in a CSV file. You can put some instruction also if you want later on with the help of Python, some logics, and you can create a good data set to fine tune a large language model. You can use it in your academia as a teacher, as a professor, as a student, if you are doing it. Okay, control everything through this application. You can extend this further. This is what I wanted to do in this video, guys. To be honest, some of you requested to have a question answer generation app. I think few of my subscribers reached out to me to build something like this, and I really enjoyed building this. There were a lot of code that we have to write, but I have taken few code from Gist and GitHub, as you saw, right? So the entire code will be given on my GitHub repository. I'll give the link in the description. And if you like the content, please hit the like icon. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and share this video and channel with your friends and to peer. A lot of LLMs videos are coming soon. I'm gonna upload multilingual chatbots where I'm creating like a chatbot which can look at different languages and retrieve information from health report or medical report. That's gonna be the next video. I'm also creating some videos on audio craft, some projects, smaller projects. So please stay tuned, to the channel. And that's all right for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.